Have you ever noticed how a single kiss can shift everything? Not just the way he gazes at you, but how he breathes beside you, how he touches you, how he holds you in his mind long after you've left. Most people think a kiss is about passion, chemistry, or attraction, but that's only the surface. The truth is, the way you kiss a man shapes how safe, wanted, and truly seen he feels in your presence. And once you grasp this, you stop kissing to please and start kissing to truly connect. I used to believe a kiss was just a kiss, two lips meeting, a spark igniting, story over. But I was wrong. At some point I realized there's a hidden language in every kiss, a silent conversation that goes far beyond desire. It's like saying, I see you, I choose you, you can let go now. And that moment, that quiet message, can soften even the strongest man in a way words never could. Picture this for a moment. You're close to him, so close you can hear his breath catch just a little. He doesn't know where your lips will land next. And that uncertainty, that split second of suspense, sends a shiver through his entire body. In that tiny pause, before you touch him, everything slows. The air, his thoughts, even time itself. That's the power of anticipation, and that's what most people never learn to harness, because a kiss isn't about when it happens, it's about how long you make him wait for it. That pause, that moment just before your lips meet, carries more electricity than any movie scene ever could. But here's the thing. No one tells you that each place you choose to kiss speaks a different truth about what you feel. Some kisses whisper desire, others reveal respect, some offer comfort, admiration, or peace. Each one reaches a part of him that words can't touch. And if you learn where and when those moments matter, you'll understand something most women never do. Men don't just crave touch, they crave meaning behind it. I learned this the hard way. There was a time I thought passion was enough, that intensity could replace intimacy, but passion fades when there's no presence to back it up. What lasts is how you made someone feel safe enough to let go. That's what makes a kiss unforgettable. It's not about how fiery it is, it's about how real it feels. Now if you're wondering, okay, but how do I do this? Stick with me, because soon I'll show you 5 places every man secretly longs to be kissed, and what each one stirs inside him. But before we get there, I want you to feel something. Imagine a moment when you're about to kiss him. No rush, no force, just fully present. You can feel his heart beating, maybe even hear it if you're close enough. The air between you hums with tension. He's waiting. You're waiting. And in that breathless stillness, you realize you hold all the power. Not the kind that controls him, but the kind that calms, centers, and draws him in without a single word. That's what true feminine energy feels like. Soft, yet magnetic. Gentle, yet impossible to ignore. You're not chasing validation. You're creating an experience that makes him feel something he can't explain. That's what he'll remember. And maybe that's what scares most women, the idea that something so simple could hold so much power. But it's true. Every kiss is a mirror. It reflects what's inside you in that exact moment. Confidence, affection, vulnerability, even fear. He feels it all. And the more authentic your energy, the more his body responds. That's why the most irresistible women aren't the ones who kiss perfectly. They're the ones who kiss with presence. I used to think control was sexy, being mysterious, unpredictable, in charge. But now I'm not so sure. Maybe the most intoxicating kind of control is the one that feels effortless, the kind that makes someone feel safe enough to let go. When you understand that, every kiss becomes an invitation, not a performance. It's not about taking his breath away. It's about giving him space to breathe you in. So before you go for his lips again, I want you to remember this. The most unforgettable kiss isn't about fire, hunger, or even skill. It's about connection, the kind that touches his mind, his heart, and everything in between. Because when you learn to kiss a man in a way that speaks to all 3, he won't just want you, He'll feel you everywhere. And that's where it all begins. You know what's fascinating? The neck is one of those places that holds both strength and vulnerability at once. It's where his pulse meets his breath, where confidence meets surrender. When you kiss a man there, you're not just touching his skin, you're reaching his instincts, the kind that make him stop thinking and start feeling. It's not about how passionate you are, it's about how intentional you become. Most women don't realize how powerful a kiss on a man's neck can be. Maybe because it feels too bold, too daring, too intimate. But that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. The neck is the bridge between his mind and his body. It's close enough to his jaw to hint at desire, yet far enough from his lips to feel mysterious. It's not where he expects to be kissed. And that's the point. That small element of surprise, the not knowing what comes next, creates an electricity he can't control. I remember once wondering, why does a kiss on the neck feel so different? And then it hit me. It's because it plays with power. When you take the lead, when you lean in first, you send a message that says, I want you, not in a needy way, but in a confident, grounded way. You flip the usual script. He's no longer the one leading, you are. And for a man who's always expected to be strong, that single act of you gently, gracefully taking charge sparks something primal inside him. He feels desired, he feels chosen, and in that moment, his body responds before his mind can catch up. But the secret isn't just in the act itself, it's in the pacing. Don't rush. Let the space between your breath and his skin do most of the work. Stay close enough for him to feel your warmth, but not your touch. Let your breath graze his neck first. Soft and slow, like you're teasing the air around him. You'll feel the shift in his body instantly. His breathing deepens, his shoulders relax, his pulse quickens. That's your cue. Then when you finally let your lips meet his skin, do it gently, deliberately, like you're sharing a secret inch by inch. Move slowly up toward his jawline, then trace back down toward his collarbone. Don't overthink it. Feel his rhythm, his tension, the way he exhales when your lips linger. The pause is everything. That half-second of stillness between kisses holds as much power as the kiss itself. It's what keeps his mind spinning, wondering what's next. And if you want to take it deeper, add a whisper, something playful, something just for him. Maybe something simple like, you smell so good, or I love how warm you are. When your breath follows your words, the contrast between warmth and coolness amplifies every sensation. He'll associate that exact feeling, the rhythm of your touch, the sound of your voice, with you long after you've pulled away. His body will remember that electricity. There's something psychological about it too. The neck is where his guard lives. It's exposed yet protected. It's where dominance softens into vulnerability. When you touch it with care, you're telling him without words that it's okay to let go. You're not overpowering him, you're inviting him to feel. And that invitation, that permission to release, is rare for most men. That's why a kiss on the neck lingers with them. It reaches a part of them that's usually off limits. And here's something most people never consider. It's not just about what he feels, it's about what you feel too. The closeness, the quiet, the awareness of his heartbeat under your lips. It grounds you, reminds you that intimacy isn't about performance, it's about presence. You don't need to do too much. Sometimes a slow, deliberate kiss followed by stillness says more than 100 rushed ones ever could. When you kiss him there, you're not trying to prove anything. You're simply saying, I'm here, I see you. That quiet message, delivered through touch instead of words, becomes addictive. It tells him he can drop his armor, even if just for a moment. And that's where true connection begins. I used to think men only responded to fire, to obvious desire, to heat. But now I realize what cuts through isn't the intensity of the flame. It's the control behind it, the restraint, the ability to make him crave without even moving. That's the art most women overlook, the art of tension. Because tension isn't about denial, it's about awareness. When you become aware of the energy between you, his breath, his pulse, the way the air thickens, you start to see that intimacy is less about touch and more about timing. You're not chasing pleasure. You're building suspense. You're painting the silence with sensation. That's why the most powerful kiss on a man's neck isn't wild. It's curious, deliberate, intentional. It's a whisper that says, "I know what this does to you." And when he feels that you understand the psychology of pleasure, he doesn't just want you, he admires you. Because that kind of awareness is rare, magnetic, makes him see you as the woman who doesn't just spark a fire, but knows exactly how to keep it burning. So next time you're close enough to feel his breath, don't go for his lips right away. Hover near his neck. Let that space between touch and temptation do the work. And when you finally kiss him there, make it like a promise, slow, certain, unforgettable. Because that's the kind of kiss that stays in his mind long after you're gone. And yet, as intoxicating as the neck is, there's another place even more powerful. A place that touches not just his body but his heart. There's something deeply magnetic about a man's chest. It's the space where his strength resides, where his heart hides. Most women see it as a symbol of masculinity, broad, solid, protective. But few realize how much tenderness lies beneath that strength. When you kiss a man's chest, you're not just touching his body, you're touching the part of him that carries the weight of being strong. You're saying, "You don't have to be tough right now." And that message, though silent, speaks louder than any words. The chest is one of the most emotionally charged places on a man's body because it's where his armor meets his heart. It's what the world sees when he stands tall, but it's also what shields his most fragile parts. When your lips find that space, it's not just about seduction, it's about permission. Permission to rest, to breathe, to just be. The world constantly tells men to hold it together, to hide softness behind confidence, to keep going no matter how heavy it feels. But when you lean in and trace your lips across his chest, letting your breath melt into his skin, something in him shifts. It's as if all the noise, the pressure, the expectations, the quiet exhaustion fades away. All that's left is the simplicity of your touch, the warmth of your presence, the reminder that he doesn't have to carry it all alone. I used to underestimate this kind of intimacy. I thought strength was something men held so tightly they'd never share it. But one night, when I placed my lips on a man's chest and felt the rhythm of his heartbeat against my mouth, I realized something. Men crave being seen just as much as we do. They just hide it better. That heartbeat told me everything. It wasn't steady confidence, it was relief. Relief that he didn't have to perform strength in that moment, that he could just feel. When you kiss him there, let it be slow, gentle, deliberate. Don't rush to make it passionate. Let it be grounding. Let it be human. Rest your head on his chest before you kiss. Listen to his heart. Feel its rhythm, its power, its softness. Then let your lips follow that rhythm, soft, patient, sincere. Each kiss says, "I see you. You don't need to prove anything." This kind of care, disguised as desire, creates a connection that burns quietly but deeply. Because when a man feels both desired and accepted, something unlocks inside him. He starts to open up in ways he didn't know he could. The physical sensation of your kiss becomes a symbol of something bigger: trust. The skin over his heart is thin, sensitive, full of nerve endings. When your lips or tongue trace over that area, it sends a current through his entire body. But what he remembers isn't the spark. It's the calm that follows, the silence that wraps you both. When you just stay there, breathing together, that's where desire turns into devotion. To make it even more powerful, whisper something honest while you're there. It doesn't need to be perfect or poetic, just real. "You're incredible. Are you okay?" "I love this." The sound of your voice travels through his chest, vibrating against his skin, sinking into his memory. That's how he'll remember you, not for the act, but for how you made him feel understood without saying a word. Men rarely receive affection that doesn't demand something in return. When you kiss his chest with no expectations, no agenda, no rush, you give him something he didn't know he was missing. Peace. That kind of intimacy lingers. It softens him in ways no other touch can, and if you look up at him between kisses, your eyes meeting his, you'll see the shift, the way his body relaxes, the way his expression changes from surprise to surrender. That's not just attraction. It's trust forming right in front of you. You become the one place he doesn't have to pretend, the one place he can breathe without holding back. That's why a kiss on his chest isn't just sensual. It's sacred. It reminds him that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's connection. And the woman who understands this becomes unforgettable because she's not just touching his body, she's touching his story, every scar, every muscle, every breath. She's saying, "You're enough, even when you're not trying to be," and he'll carry that feeling long after the night is over. I used to believe desire and tenderness couldn't coexist, that one would overpower the other. But the truth is, they're meant to dance together. Tenderness keeps desire from fading, and desire keeps tenderness alive. When you kiss his chest with that delicate balance, soft but certain, gentle but present, you create something that feels timeless. It's the kind of intimacy that doesn't need to be remembered. It just is. So next time he's lying there, quiet, maybe lost in thought, don't fill the silence with words. Just place your hand on his chest, feel it rise and fall, and let your lips follow. Let the rhythm guide you. Let the quiet speak, because sometimes the most powerful way to say "I love you" is without saying anything at all. And yet, there's another place, smaller, more unexpected, that holds a different kind of magic. A place that reveals not just how you see him, but how you admire him. There's something quietly powerful about a man's hands. They're the parts of him that build, protect, create, and hold. They tell stories without speaking. A rough edge from work, a small scar from something he fixed once, the firm grip that steadies you when you least expect it. Most people never notice them, but a woman who does, who sees his hands and treats them with reverence, awakens something deep within him. When you kiss a man's hands, you're not just being affectionate. You're acknowledging his commitment, his strength, his quiet resolve. You're telling him, "I notice what you do for me. I see who you are." And that simple act one most overlook can unravel him in the most beautiful way. Because for a man, his hands are more than tools. They're an extension of his purpose. They carry what he can't express in words. When your lips touch that part of him, it's not desire, it's gratitude in its purest form. Picture sitting with him, maybe during a conversation, maybe in a quiet moment. You reach for his hand, gently tracing your fingers along his palm, feeling the warmth of his skin, the lines that hold his story. Then, without a word, you draw it close and press a slow, intentional kiss on the back of his hand. You linger just long enough for him to feel your breath. That single small gesture does something unexpected. It catches him off guard. Men are used to being the ones who initiate, who offer touch, who provide comfort. But when you take his hand and kiss it, you shift that energy entirely. You're telling him he can receive, that he too can be cherished. And that shift is magnetic, not loud or dramatic, but quiet, graceful, disarming. The kind of moment that makes him pause and wonder, what just happened? I used to think gestures like these were too subtle to matter, that men needed boldness, fire, something more obvious. But I was mistaken. Subtlety, when infused with intention, can be more captivating than anything else. It sparks the imagination, leaves room for emotions to unfold. When you kiss his hands, you're giving him that space to feel without needing to perform. It's a rare kind of closeness, the kind that forges a deeper bond without a single word, making it even more powerful. Notice how he reacts. The slight curl of his fingers, the soft exhale of surprise. That's your cue. Let your thumb trace small circles on his palm or follow the veins running along his wrist. Then place another kiss there, slower this time, right on the inside of his wrist. That spot, so close to his pulse, holds both sensitivity and meaning. It's where you can feel his life moving beneath his skin. It's where his heartbeat meets your touch. When your lips find that place, you're aligning with him, even if just for a moment. That's why it feels so personal, so intimate. It's not about claiming him, it's about connecting with him. The warmth of your lips, the rhythm of his pulse, becomes its own quiet language. If you want to deepen the moment, look at him as you do it. Let your eyes meet his, no words, no explanations, just presence. That eye contact says everything. Admiration, appreciation, desire. It tells him he doesn't need to prove his strength. You already see it, you're honoring it. And that feeling, being seen in that way, is something men rarely experience. That's why he won't forget it, because you're not praising what he does, you're acknowledging who he is. And when a man feels recognized for who he is, not just what he provides, he connects with you on a level logic can't touch. I once read that hands are the most honest part of the human body. They reveal care, fear, patience, and strength all at once. I didn't believe it until I started paying attention. The way a man's hands grip when he's anxious, the way they soften when he's at ease. When you touch them, you're not just touching his body, you're reading his emotions in real time. That's what makes this kind of intimacy so rare. It's instinctive. You don't plan it, you feel it, and when you finally kiss his hand, it becomes an act of both affection and understanding. You're saying, I admire you, but I also accept you. The balance between admiration and acceptance is what keeps men coming back. Admiration fuels their confidence. Acceptance nourishes their soul. To play with that energy, you can add a hint of playfulness. After a kiss, smile softly and whisper something like, "These hands get away with a lot," or "I feel so safe when you hold me." Those small words blend flirtation with sincerity, and that mix is irresistible. It keeps the connection light yet emotionally charged. What most people miss is that a kiss on the hand isn't old-fashioned, it's timeless. It carries the elegance of romance and the depth of respect. It's not just sensual, it's symbolic. It says, I value you not just for what you can do, but for who you are when you're with me. And that kind of recognition leaves a mark no grand gesture can match. So the next time you're beside him, maybe laughing, maybe quiet, reach for his hand, hold it, trace it, kiss it once, maybe twice, and let that stillness speak. Because that single act says more than any confession could. It says, I see the man behind the motion. And when he feels that, when he realizes you understand the man beneath the surface, he'll never look at you or his hands the same way again. Yet there's an even more unexpected place, a gentler gesture that has the power to make him feel safe in a way passion never could. A kiss on the forehead might seem simple, almost innocent, but it carries a weight few understand. It's not about passion, heat, or even attraction. It's about peace. It's the kind of gesture that tells him wordlessly, you can rest here. And for a man used to being strong, that's the most powerful feeling in the world. The forehead is where his thoughts reside, where worries hide behind quiet eyes, where composure tries to hold everything together. When you lean in and kiss him there, you're not just showing affection. You're granting him permission to exhale, to stop battling the world for a moment, to stop being the protector and just be human. The first time I kissed someone's forehead, I didn't think it mattered. It seemed too small, too sweet, too subtle. But when I did, I felt his entire body soften. His breath slowed, his shoulders relaxed, his arms instinctively pulled me closer. That's when I understood what that moment meant. It wasn't a kiss of desire. It was a kiss of surrender, of trust, of love in its purest form. Because men carry invisible weight. They don't talk about it, but it's there. The pressure to lead, to fix, to endure. They wake with it, sleep with it, hide it behind smiles. And when you kiss his forehead, it's as if you're telling him he doesn't need to carry it alone, that he can drop the mask, even if just for a heartbeat. That small gesture dissolves the distance life builds around him. You're not kissing him to ignite anything, you're kissing him to calm everything. That's what makes it unforgettable. There's a kind of silence that follows, a silence that doesn't feel empty but full of unspoken emotion, of calm, of care. In that stillness, your energy speaks louder than your lips. It says you're safe, you're loved, you don't need to be strong for me. That's the moment men remember, not the dramatic words, not the physical intensity, but that gentle reminder that they can feel. When your lips touch his forehead, do it gently, let your breath linger. Maybe let your hand rest on his jaw or slide softly through his hair. Don't say anything. Just be there. The warmth of your touch, the steadiness of your breath, that's what he'll feel deep down, long after you pull away. It's not about timing, it's about presence. Maybe it's after a long day when he's quiet and tired. Maybe it's in the middle of a laugh when you catch him off guard. Maybe it's when he's lost in thought and you don't ask what's wrong. You just kiss his forehead. You don't demand explanations. You offer comfort. That kind of intimacy doesn't need words. It's emotional gravity, the invisible pull that makes someone feel understood without speaking. I used to think men didn't need tenderness, that they craved boldness, intensity, something to wake them up. But I was wrong. What they long for, what they rarely admit, is a woman who makes them feel calm, because calm is rare. Calm feels like home. A kiss on the forehead gives them that. It bridges affection and trust, warmth and peace. It's not loud, but it lingers. And what's beautiful is that it often sparks a different kind of attraction, one rooted in safety. When a man feels emotionally safe with you, his desire deepens. It's no longer just physical, it becomes magnetic, spiritual. That's why the forehead is such a powerful place. It connects to the mind, not just the body. When you kiss him there, it's as if you're soothing his thoughts, quieting the noise in his head. You're touching the part of him that thinks too much, worries too much, feels too much. You're reminding him he doesn't need to have all the answers. You're saying, you're enough, even in silence. And that feeling, being accepted without needing to perform, changes how he sees you. You stop being the woman he wants and become the woman he trusts, the one he turns to when the world feels heavy, the one who doesn't ask him to be perfect, the one who gives peace. That's why a kiss on the forehead, though simple, carries the same emotional weight as any passionate touch. It's the stillness before the storm, the exhale after a long day, the "I understand you" without words that every man secretly craves. And maybe that's the irony. What's gentle often strikes deeper, what's quiet often echoes longer. So, the next time you're near him, when the night feels still and everything else fades, lean in and let your lips rest on his forehead. Stay there for a moment. Don't move, don't speak, just let him feel that stillness, that calm, that care. Because that's how love whispers, not in fire, but in peace. And when he feels that peace from you, it stays with him. It becomes the memory he returns to when everything else feels loud. And yet, even after all this tenderness, there's one place left to explore. The most obvious, yet the most misunderstood. The kiss that ties everything together. Desire, emotion, meaning. A kiss on the lips is the most familiar, the most expected, and yet, when done with true presence, it becomes the most powerful. Because a kiss isn't just two mouths meeting, it's two energies colliding, two stories merging, two souls speaking in a wordless language. Most people rush through it, chasing intensity, chasing proof of passion. But the kind of kiss that lingers with a man long after it ends isn't rushed or loud. It's quiet, intentional, alive. It's the moment where time folds in on itself and everything else vanishes. I used to think kissing was about sparks. The faster, the hotter, the better. But then I learned that what truly moves someone isn't the speed or the heat. It's the honesty behind the touch, the intention, the way you slow down enough to let him feel you, not just physically but emotionally. That's where the connection begins. Don't rush into it. That's the secret no one tells you. The real magic lives in the almost. Stay close enough that your breath mingles with his. Let your eyes drift from his lips to his gaze. Let him feel the tension build between you, like static. That invisible line, the space between wanting and having, is where desire grows. It's the pause that makes the kiss unforgettable, because in that pause, anticipation blooms. He's not thinking about what comes next. He's feeling. And then, when you finally close the distance, don't dive in. Let your lips meet his gently, like a secret only you two share. Feel the warmth of his breath, the shape of his mouth, the slight tremor of holding on too long. Kiss him slowly, let it deepen naturally, like a wave building and receding. You're not trying to perform, you're trying to listen. Every movement, every breath, every small pull or hesitation, it's a conversation. That's what makes it art. You respond, not control. You lead, but also follow. And the moment you feel him relax, when you sense that subtle surrender, that's when you know the kiss has become more than physical. It's emotional. It's the kind of kiss that leaves a mark. Not because it was fiery, but because it was real. If you want to keep him captivated, play with the rhythm. Pull back just a bit. Let your lips hover again. Let him chase the distance. That moment of almost contact reignites the anticipation, keeps him suspended in the tension between longing and fulfillment. Sometimes, the softest, slowest kiss is the one that burns the longest, because what he'll remember isn't how hard you kissed him, but how deeply he felt seen in that moment. When your kiss says, "I'm here," it becomes unforgettable. There's a reason the lips are always the final act. They seal everything together. The neck whispers desire, the hands show admiration, the forehead offers peace, but the lips connect it all. They hold both passion and emotion, chaos and calm. There where everything you've made him feel comes together. That's why a kiss like this can change everything, because it says what words can't. I want you, I trust you, I feel safe with you. I once thought a kiss was just a spark. Now I know it's a mirror. It reflects what's real between two people in that exact moment. When you kiss with presence, you create a memory that doesn't fade. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. Every second you're there, fully feeling, fully aware. You teach him something he didn't know before. That connection isn't built through grand gestures, but through the smallest, truest moments. So the next time you kiss him, don't rush to make it passionate. Make it meaningful. Make it something that feels like it belongs only to you two. Let it carry everything you've said without words, the respect, the admiration, the calm, the desire. Let it be both the beginning and the end. Because that's what the right kiss does. It doesn't just express desire, it creates it. It doesn't just touch his lips, it touches his soul. And when a man feels that, he'll crave not just your kiss, but your presence, your stillness, your energy. He'll remember the way your breath felt, the way you paused, the way you meant it. That's what lingers long after you're gone. So when you think about where to kiss him next, remember, it's not about the place, it's about the intention. Every kiss carries a message, every kiss holds meaning. The question is, what story do you want your kiss to tell? Because when you learn to kiss with meaning, with emotion, with power, you stop trying to be unforgettable. You just are. And maybe now I'm curious about you. Where in the world are you reading this? What kind of kiss, desire, comfort, admiration, or peace, do you think he'd crave most from you? Share in the comments. Let's see where your heart's at.